Hello. Happy Christmas Eve. Welcome to Action Theaters. Today's feature is 1987's Lethal Weapon, the director's cut. And hey, we have deleted scenes. Hello, deleted scenes.
Well, hello.
Are you all right?
I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm here. Not going to
Okay.
be as vocal as usual, but I will do my best.
All right. Well, as I said, this is Lethal Weapon, the director's cut, 1987. Martin Riggs is a volatile risk taker known as a lethal weapon. Roger Murtaugh is a conservative detective with a solid reputation. Forced to form an alliance, they begin to unveil the mystery of a suicide that turns out to be a murder. That's the synopsis. That's the one that I have. So, if you guys want to follow us over to the screening room, right there and there. You can follow along. Once again, if you guys are catching this after the broadcast is finished, the movie will not be there. We cannot present these to YouTube because they're under copyright law and the rules and regulations of YouTube. So we're good for informing you. We can't show this to you here because copyright law and the rules of YouTube. Uh, You can probably find this on streaming platforms such as Tubi and Pluto. Um, it's out there. So in 87. So without further ado, follow us over there and we'll get started. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. And we got the Warner Bros. Order with the Christmas song.
Jingle Bell Rock, of course.
The Richard Donner film. Is this another film that's debatable? Is it a Christmas movie or is not? Many would argue that it is not, but I've always considered it because there's a lot of Christmas happening within the movie. So that alone qualifies it as a Christmas movie for me.
Well, and Merry Christmas to Resolute John. And it all started with Amanda.
I'd say she's about maybe 15 stories up. Looks up definitely a pretty high height. Nobody told you could fly? Milk delivery. I don't I'm not sure they had milk delivery in 87, but I remember earlier in the 80s where I lived in Colorado we had milk delivery.
And hell out of Gambit the first.
Hello, Resolute Germ. Welcome. Resolute Germs adds it is a Christmas movie as Die Hard. These boots are made from a single piece of premium American. Then we kept up with Martin Riggs. Die Hard is the #1 Christmas movie. I like that sentiment, Gamut. Once again, if you want to follow along, our screening room is right over here. He's not quite happy about what his daughter's wearing.
And the first of the new scenes.
I think it's yeah. Being the director's cut, I think there's maybe additional about 7 minutes of cutout stuff. It, it busted his TV.
Also a new scene. And of course, what's probably the most famous of the deleted scenes, which is the sniper sequence.
This is one of my favorite scenes that was deleted. That is new for the director's cut. Snipers don't miss. This guy's not a sniper. He's a guy with a hunting rifle. Hello and welcome, Igma Service, because he loves this movie. Yeah, this is the director's cut. And we are 15 minutes and 44 seconds into the film. We had at least three scenes that were cut from the original theatrical cut that you might have missed if you just arrived.
Now, the guy wearing the red flannel jacket there is an actor named Blackie Dammit. And he has a very famous son, Anthony Kiedis, the singer from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, that's a cool fact.
And hello to the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary.
Welcome, Connie. You don't have to apologize, Connie. We're glad that you're here. Welcome back, Gilead.
Mhm.
Mark Riggs has replaced his television set that he shoot it or yeah
Mhm.
he should.
He tossed a bottle through. Yeah, this is another of the cut scenes. And hello to Sergeant Giratina.
Hey Sergeant, yeah, welcome.
Screening room should be pinned to the top of the chat. We're about 20 minutes in to director's cut of Lethal Weapon.
Yep. Merry Christmas Eve to you too. So anybody want to argue that this is not a Christmas movie? Look at how many Christmas things have already happened within the movie, and plus cops singing Christmas carols. You want to still argue that this is not a Christmas movie? Good luck with that. Here we have the point where Murtaugh meets his new partner coming up. Fun fact, this was in 87 and Die Hard was 1989. And you have one of the detectives that's in there is also in Die Hard.
I like how he did that. He kind of throws in the whole, the war's over because that's all he knows of Riggs at this point is all the rumor and innuendo surrounding him. So he kind of thinks, okay, he screwed up over the war. Okay, nope, it's not that. So I like how he did that.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here with us. And Merry Christmas Eve. good to see you, Andrea. I hope you're having a happy Merry Christmas Eve and holiday.
Here's we get our first look at our villains. McAllister, played by veteran character actor Mitchell Ryan. Uh, Mr. Joshua, of course, Gary Busey. And Mendez, who's Edo Ross, who you might remember from Full Metal Jacket and 6 Feet Under and many other films. And of course, Tom Atkins is Michael Hunsaker. Uh, Halloween 3, Night of the Creeps, Escape from New York, The Fog, and many others.
Played the father in Creep Show.
Yep.
He was a staple throughout the 80s. Lost Boys playing in the theater across the way. Want to go again? They said Merry Christmas. Yes, they did. They got like a kilo of cocaine on the table there. Merry Christmas to you too, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Merry Christmas Eve. You like my wife's cooking? No.
other cut scenes. Mm.
He's opening a gift from his kids. He finds Michelle Hunsaker's high school book.
Mhm.
And some adult material that she was involved with. We gotta carry up and catch bad guys. Trixie. Give me that cup. Hail to the tired midnight blogger, the voice of Northern Oklahoma. Merry Christmas to you too, tired midnight blogger. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Christmas Eve so far. Best Christmas movie ever. Yeah. Well, there's an argument. There's been an ongoing argument. Is this or is this not a Christmas movie? I say there are many compelling things that say that it is a Christmas movie. And it predates Die Hard because this was a 87. Die Hard came out in 89. Your coat's on fire. I would say go do it again. Hey, Alfred. Stopping by to say hi. Can't stay enough. Things. On my way to see Avatar. Okay, well, maybe you could tell us how that is. Enjoy your film. APP on Big Bird. Albino.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Oh, they never did get that right.
Going according to the plan. Trust me, man.
Mhm. Very true, Enigma. Now, Shane Black wrote another film along with Fred Decker called that was also called Shadow Company. That was all about these reanimated soldiers, these guys who had been killed in Vietnam. And John Carpenter was going to direct it, and Kurt Russell was going to star, but unfortunately, it never happened.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
Mm, mm.
This guy showed up in a lot of kind of 80s and 90s movies, played bad guys a lot.
Riggs can show off his sniper skills.
Man, Trish's car dies.
Here we have this guy who's been in every uh, one of the types of films. Also showed up in Die Hard 2 years later.
Mhm.
We don't need you. Yeah, Igma. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah. One. The fella hanging there is Dar Robinson, and this is actually the last film he did before he unfortunately got killed on another film.
Hail FKH C2005, sometimes known as Tim. And the bus number is 2424. In speed, it was 2525. Well, that's what you get when you have all that heroin and grenades in the back of your trunk. Yeah, I wonder if Mythbusters ever did debunk on that one. That would have been a cool one. I don't think the grenades, because you didn't pull the pin, would actually blow up.
All right. Well, here's what happened. All right. I will explain the McAllister death. All right. If he pulls the pin on the grenade and detonates himself, he wins because he's making the choice to die. But the car blows up from the damage that it took, and because it's an 80s action film, before he can get to the grenade. So that's how he dies. He dies a villain.
Essentially, grenades are just gunpowder and TNT. Anyway,
No, having them in the back seat did not help. No, but he doesn't detonate it himself. Is the point?
he just turned Murtaugh's living room into a garage. This is kind of the gladiator battle,
Yeah.
mano a mano. You know, who's the better fighter? You see, Joshua don't even fight fair. He's using a pipe,
Mhm.
big pole.
I think this is what, three different fighting styles that they use during this scene. And Hello and Merry Christmas to Big Al Presents.
Hey, Big Al.
I'll be joining Al Friday night for a special Films with Friends beginning at 7:30. 7:30 Eastern Friday night.
get get that piece of crap off my lawn. Hey, quiet. FKH 2005. No spoilers. Plus, that's not because of sequel. But no spoilers, damn it. Yes, Curtis. Anybody cannot. I mean, like I can, but the argument throughout the whole film, you had Christmas things. You had cops singing carol, coming together for Christmas carols, and the whole. So many things that hint back to Christmas. The argument. Those who argue that it isn't a Christmas movie just are the bah humbuggers. Burbank the cat. I'll put 5 on the dog. I'm too old for this. It starts with a Christmas song and it ends with a Christmas song. How Christmas is that? I mean, come on. So that is the director's cut. All about 7 minutes of deleted scenes that were put into the film.
Mhm.
Is there any scrolls
Yeah.
that you would like to consult?
Looking that up now.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Lethal Weapon was released March 6th, 1987. An estimated budget of 15 million, going on to gross more than 120 million worldwide. It was nominated for Best Sound at the Academy Awards. Mel Gibson was nominated Best International Actor at the Jupiter Awards. Ebony Smith, who played Carrie Murtaugh, was nominated for the Young Artist Award as Best Young Actress in a Horror or Mystery Motion Picture. Eric Clapton and Michael Kamen were awarded with the BMI Film Music Award. It won the Motion Picture Sound Editors Golden Reel Award and won 3 Image Awards. Best Picture, Best Actor for Danny Glover, and Supporting Actress for Tracy Wolf, who played Rianne. All right. Filming locations. 4318 Comley Street, Los Angeles. The sniper's nest across from school, upper floor of the house. Added scene for the director's cut. Doc Weiler State Beach. 12,000 to 1. Vista Del Mar, Playa del Rey, Los Angeles, which was Riggs Beach Camper. Wilshire Boulevard and Southwestern Avenue. 11,118 Ventura Boulevard, Studio City for the street scenes. Sierra Madre, California for the cemetery scene. 2817 Via Segovia, Palos Verdes Peninsula, California, Michael Hunsaker's house. Third Street and South Sweetser Avenue, Los Angeles, which is where they shot the scene where Joshua tries to take out Riggs in the drive-by. 4251 111th Street, Lenox, California, for Dixie's house. Blondie Street, Columbia, Warner Brothers Ranch, 411 North Hollywood Way, Burbank, California. City Terrace Elementary School, 4350 City Terrace Drive, Los Angeles. El Mirage Dry Lake, California, El Segundo, California. Emser Rugs and Tile, 8431 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, where Riggs jumps off the roof with his stunt double. And International Tower, 700 East Ocean Boulevard, Long Beach, California, for the opening scene where Amanda jumps out of the building. 12,460 Victory Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, for the Christmas tree light truck bus scene. 6656 Hollywood Boulevard, Los Angeles, where the nightclub is located, since closed. Universal Studios Drive and the 101 Freeway, 6675 North Hollywood Boulevard, Los Angeles, for the shootout. All right. On to the trivia. All right. Legendary stuntman Dar Robinson was killed in a motorcycle accident shortly after principal photography was finished. Director Richard Donner dedicated the film to him. Shane Black's first draft of Lethal Weapon, which he wrote sometime in 1985, was very different, not just from his later drafts, but also from the final movie. This first draft was 141 pages long and was much darker. It had alternate plot parts, character scenes, action sequences, and many other differences, like an entire ending, which had a big chase scene involving a police helicopter, which gets blown up by Joshua, who fires a napalm missile at it, causing it to crash into the Hollywood sign and start a huge fire. Murtaugh killing General McAllister while he's driving a trailer truck full of heroin and guns, which then crashes and explodes all over the Hollywood Hills, causing heroin to start snowing over the burning Hollywood sign. And Riggs killing Joshua by stabbing his fingers through Joshua's eyes right into his brain. Riggs was also a much different character in the first draft than he was in the movie, and a lot more mentally unstable. For example, in the original version of the scene where he kills the sniper, instead of using his gun, Riggs uses a rocket launcher to blow up the sniper after he shot and killed several kids. In another part of the script, he also uses shuriken, throwing ninja stars, to wound one of the villains, and then tortures him for information. Beckett first thought that this draft, which was his second script, His first was an unproduced action zombie horror script, which I brought up earlier, The Shadow Company, which he wrote in 1984. Uh, Black thought that this draft sucked, so he threw it in the garbage, but later changed his mind and reworked it into the new drafts. For the longest time, Black was the only one who had a copy of the first draft until he sold it at an auction, and it was eventually found by fans.
Hmm.
An alternate opening and ending were both filmed and are available on the Lethal Weapon 4 DVD. The alternate opening featured Martin Riggs drinking alone in a bar where he's accosted by a couple of thugs who want his money. Riggs claims all of his money is in the bank and tells the thugs not to fuck with him. The thugs attack him anyway, but Riggs easily subdues them. He is then allowed to take a free bottle of booze from the bar in exchange for never returning. Richard Donner felt the movie should open with a brighter look at Riggs and filmed the scene with Riggs awakening in his trailer to replace it. The alternate ending featured Riggs and Murtaugh saying goodbye to one another. Murtaugh tells Riggs he's thinking of retiring, but Riggs tells him not to. Jackie Swanson, who played Amanda Hunsaker, performed the high fall on her own. Trained by legendary stuntman Dar Robinson. Also, the stunt was done using an airbag covered with a life-size painting of the driveway and cars, which, like a foreground miniature, visually blends into the real scene. Thus, the editor is able to hold the shot till just as she makes the contact with the airbag for greater realism. Murtaugh's 50 years old in the movie, but Danny Glover was only 40 years old in 1986. Richard Donner thought that no matter how many drafts he wrote, Shane Black's original script was still way too dark for his liking, so he brought writer Jeffrey Boehm in for some uncredited rewriting in order to add some more bits of humor into the script and change some parts. For example, in the scene which was eventually deleted completely, where Riggs kills a psycho sniper who's shooting at the kids, there was originally going to be a part showing one dead kid being carried away on a gurney. Almost all of the other graphic parts of Black's script were bloodier than in the final film. Donner still deleted some scenes for being too dark in his opinion, including the sniper scene in the original introduction scene for Riggs, where he beats up the two guys in the bar. Jeffrey Boehm also completely rewrote the Shane Black and Warren Murphy's original script for Lethal Weapon 2 after it was rejected for being too dark and bloody and because Riggs died at the end. He also wrote the script for Lethal Weapon 3, which he also wrote an unused draft for the fourth film, which had Riggs and Murtaugh dealing with neo-Nazi survivalists launching a terrorist attack in Los Angeles. Which is essentially what happened in the TV series version. The script was written in January of 1995 and dealt with the real-life neo-Nazi activity in the U.S. at the time. It was only superficially dealt with in just one movie before, in Dead Bang, with Don Johnson, which I recommend if you ever see it. Despite the fact that everybody liked it, Boehm's script was rejected. Boehm later said in an interview, it was much better than the final movie, which suffered some problems from constant rewrites of the script that were chosen for filming and didn't actually have a completed script during filming. On E! The True Hollywood Story, Gary Busey says he was hired to play Joshua because they were looking for someone big and menacing enough to be a believable foe for Mel Gibson. Busey also credits the film for reviving his failing movie career. Leonard Nimoy was one of the choices considered to direct, but he didn't feel comfortable doing action movies and was working on Three Men and a Baby at the time. The soundtrack includes Elvis Presley's song I'll Be Home for Christmas. Darlene Love, who plays Murtaugh's wife, Trish, was a background singer in Elvis's was a background singer in Elvis, the Comeback Special. A running gag in the Lethal Weapon film series is the 1, 2, 3 false starts where Riggs and Murtaugh can't decide whether to go on 2 or on 3. While the gag does not exist in this film, there is a 1, 2, 3 false start in this movie. It happens when uniformed cops are trying to prepare to sing Silent Night in a chorus, and one of the cops keeps starting too soon. Despite popular misconceptions, Murtaugh never actually says, "I'm getting too old for this shit." In this movie, he simply says, "I'm too old for this shit." He does, however, say he's getting too old for this shit in the sequels. He
Yeah.
also says that when he first meets Riggs and gets thrown to the floor. There's a scene early in the movie that takes place in Riggs' trailer. In that scene, Riggs puts his gun in somewhere where he shouldn't for another self deletion attempt. Right after he does so, the camera cuts to the television. The program shown on the television is the Christmas special Bugs Bunny's Looney Christmas Tales. After shooting Riggs, Joshua calls the police pretending to be a journalist from a station called KCOP to confirm Riggs's death. KCOP are the call letters of an actual local TV channel in Los Angeles, Channel 13. They changed the name to UPN 13 once the station became a UPN station in 1995, years after this film was made. But the station is still KCOP 13, just like uh, TTV 11 and Kitla 5, etc. Some speculate that the KCOP, an abbreviation of Killer Cop, refers to the attempt of Reagan's assassination. However, there is no factual basis formed. Uh, I, I can barely speak as it is. I can strike that, reverse it. Thank you.
Did Burbank the
Uh,
cat get your tongue?
refers to the attempted. It's written very weird. However, there's no factual basis from any proven source that this is what the filmmakers intended. Murtaugh tells Riggs that Hunsaker saved his life in the Lajang Valley in 1965. Mel Gibson would later play Colonel Hal Moore, and We Were Soldiers, which is an adaptation of that battle. Murtaugh's license plate is E641985. E64 1985. Riggs's firearm is a Beretta 92F, and Murtaugh's gun is a classic Smith & Wesson Model 19. Features the film debut of Joan Severance. And for those of you who are my age, who remember Joan Severance, who are now looking back on this film going, wait a minute, where the hell was Joan Severance? She is she's with a swimming pool guy. She's one of the girls packaging up the drugs. Each Lethal Weapon film features a goon with glasses. Here in the first one, it's the balding goon Gustav, played by Gustav Ventus, who delivers the line, "He has a grenade," during the desert scene and is later shot in the club by Riggs. Mel Gibson was only 30 when the movie was filmed, though his character is supposed to be 38. Here's a bit that I actually brought up during the film. Blackie Dammit, real name John Kiedis, who portrays one of the drug dealers at the Christmas tree stand, is the father of Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. On Roger's refrigerator at his home is a bumper sticker about ending apartheid in South Africa. In Lethal Weapon 2, the villains are South African. When Murtaugh and Riggs are walking down the street discussing how Murtaugh owes Hunsaker, the movie theater's marquee displays The Lost Boys. This year's hit. Richard Donner also produced The Lost Boys. This is the only Lethal Weapon film that wasn't shot in Panavision.
Want to thank our strong supporters, Connie Clary, for being 21 members to Deleted Seeds channel. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you, Connie Clary, and you're welcome. It's our pleasure. And the Tired Midnight Blogger for member of 20 months on Deleted Scenes channel. Thank you.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
and you're welcome.
Indeed. All right. Read a few more of these off because there's quite a few. All right. The girl in the black play suit is played by an uncredited Joan Severance. Riggs arrests her at the house in the hills. She also played a small role in Bird on a Wire. It's also starred Mel Gibson. Danny Glover played against Gary Busey again in Predator 2, where Glover plays a cop again, and Busey played an ex-Special Forces soldier again. Recent UCLA graduate Shane Black wrote the screenplay in mid-1985. His agent sent it to producer Joel Silver, who loved the story and worked with Black to further develop the script. Casting director Marion Doherty first suggested teaming Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. She arranged for Gibson to fly in from his home in Sydney while Glover was flown in from Chicago, where he was appearing in a play, to read through the script. The two leads were signed by early spring 1986. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover then flew home to pack, and returning to Los Angeles began an intensive 2-month physical training and preparation. Stunt coordinator Bobby Bass planned and supervised all phases of Mel Gibson and Danny Glover's intense pre-production training, physical conditioning and weight workouts, and weapons handling and safety. Bass also used his own military experiences to bring a greater depth of understanding to the Riggs character. In Shane Black's first draft of the script from 1985, Riggs and Murtaugh were much darker characters with very grim backstories. They both had flashbacks of their time in Vietnam, with Murtaugh at one point remembering how he accidentally killed a young soldier with his bare hands during an intense military training session, even before he went to war. And Riggs remembering how great a killing machine he was and how many people he killed working as an assassin for the CIA, which is why the U.S. and the VC soldiers considered him a legend. The script also had more of a backstory for Joshua, who, just like Riggs, was also working as a CIA assassin in Vietnam and also got legendary status due to all of the things he did in the war, which explains how they knew each other's names and reputations in the film. Throughout filming, technical advisors from the LAPD and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department worked closely with Richard Donner and the actors to ensure authenticity. The Hollywood city officials hung Christmas decorations on Hollywood Boulevard a few months early so that the scenes shot for this film, particularly the action scenes near the film's end, looked like they were happening at the end of the year. In the scenes where Riggs is contemplating self-deletion, there is an actual bullet blank in the chamber, which Mel Gibson was pointing at his head, thinking that it would allow for a greater sense of portraying the scene realistically and dramatically. While bullet blanks don't actually fire live rounds, the ejection of the air and debris from the gun barrel can and have fatally injured people at very close range. So don't do that. Ever. All right. From the early pre-production stages, Richard Donner wanted the final fight sequence to be unique, yet also make a strong statement about the characters involved. Coincidentally, Assistant Director Willie Simmons had an avid interest in unusual forms of martial arts, and he invited several practitioners to the set to demonstrate for Donner. The result was the hiring of 3 technical advisors, each a master of a particular martial arts style. Cedric Adams was the first expert to be brought in. Adams thought the best possible way to show just how lethal Riggs really is to show his mastery of a form of martial arts never before seen on screen, said Donner. Um, Adams taught the actors the movements of capoeira. The second technical advisor, Dennis Newsom, brought Jailhouse Rock to the fight sequence. And third technical advisor was Warren Gracie, who specialized in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. The filming was spread over 4 complete nights, shooting from dusk till dawn, resulting in an edited sequence that would last several minutes on screen. Mary Ellen Trainor, Al Leong, and Grandel Bush all had parts in Die Hard, also produced by Joel Silver. Shadow Company, the name of an ex-Special Forces team in the film, is taken from the title of the first script Shane Black wrote in 1984. And although it was never made into a film, people loved the way Black wrote action, which is why he got more writing job offers. And this is what helped him write his first draft of Lethal Weapon in 1985. The script for Shadow Company was an action zombie horror movie about a group of special forces soldiers who died during the Vietnam War, and years later, after their bodies are brought back, the soldiers who are members of secret army experiments return to life as rotting, unstoppable zombies who raid the armory from the army base near the town where they were buried, and then proceeded to attack the town during Christmas night, killing everybody in it and wiping it off the map. Around 1988 or 89, after the final draft of the Shadow Company script was finished by Black and Fred Decker, both of whom also wrote the cult horror classic Monster Squad, it was to be turned into an action horror film directed by John Carpenter, with Kurt Russell in the main role, and with Black and Walter Hill as producers. Hill also did some uncredited co-writing on the script. However, due to some problems, the movie was never made. The original script by Black and Decker, that's their names, guys, did,
Yep.
however, gain a cult following from their and Carpenter's fans. A PDF of the script can be found online, which is how I got to read it. All right. I'll do a couple more here. Once Jeffrey Boehm was hired to rewrite some of Shane Black's script and make it lighter, Richard Donner also wanted to change some scenes in the film, which were already shot, because he thought they were too dark. So he had Boehm write 2 new introduction scenes for Riggs, which were going to replace the scenes where Riggs beats up the guys in a bar. And the scene where he kills the sniper. The first new scene that Boehm wrote was a different introduction for Riggs, where he's walking along the beach and finds the dog being tormented by drunks. Riggs pretends he can communicate with the dog and tells the bullies what the dog is thinking, asking Riggs to beat them up, which he does. And the dog follows Riggs home. But it was decided not to reshoot this new introduction scene. The second new scene was filmed, which was the Christmas tree lot shootout scene, which replaced the sniper scene. When Warner Brothers put together an unofficial director's cut of Lethal Weapon for the DVD release, they decided to put the sniper scene back in. Even Richard Donner and Shane Black said in interviews how that was not the true director's cut. Now it makes no sense now that Riggs has 3 different introduction scenes. The only Lethal Weapon where Riggs' shoulder is not dislocated. Shane Black stated that he wanted William Hurt to play Riggs, but studio executives informed him that Hurt was too obscure for the part. It would have been interesting. I wonder how that would have turned out. Filming began on August 25th, 1986 in Los Angeles, California. Production notes stated that the following Southern California locations were used: Burbank Studios, Long Beach, Palos Verdes, Santa Monica, Studio City, West Hollywood, Inglewood, and El Mirage Dry Lake Bed near Victorville. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce allowed the production to decorate a portion of Hollywood Boulevard in the street's traditional Christmas decorations in October of 1986 prior to the scheduled date of November 14th, 1986. In exchange, the filmmakers paid an estimated $4,000 for the decorations, financially benefiting the Chamber of Commerce. Production was completed November 14th, 1986. March 4th, 1987 edition of Variety and March 6th, 1987 Los Angeles Times reviews criticized the film's narrative structure and plot holes, and Mel Gibson's performance received consistent praise. In a positive review on March 6, 1987, Janet Maslin of the New York Times described the film as all fast action, noisy stunts, and huge, often unflattering close ups, but stated that it backs an undeniable wallop. Variety magazine noted that Donner wanted an action film with a sensitive side, but said the two strains never quite melded. Michael Nouri was also considered to play Martin Riggs and turned it down. He did a different buddy cop movie called The Hidden, which was also set in Los Angeles. It was the only Lethal Weapon movie that takes place during Christmas. The only Lethal Weapon movie not released in the summer. Also, the only one that didn't make $100 million at the box office. Howie Long, then a professional football player for the Los Angeles Raiders, initially planned to make his feature film debut playing a cameo role in the film, but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. A clip of this movie is played on television in The Last Boy Scout. Not only are both movies written by Shane Black and produced by Joel Silver, but Damon Wayans from that film would play Roger Murtaugh in the Lethal Weapon TV series. The only Lethal Weapon movie not featuring Joe Pesci as Leo Getz.
Yeah, he became the Sepal in the second film.
Mm-hmm. When Murtaugh meets Michael Hunsaker at the bank, he looks at a photograph of them both during their service in Vietnam. In the photo, Hunsaker is wearing the shoulder patch of the 82nd Airborne, and Murtaugh the patch of the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat. Mel Gibson and Gary Busey later guest voiced themselves on the animated sitcom The Simpsons. They were the only veterans of the Lethal Weapon films to appear on screen in any film and be guest voices on that series. George Harrison, Sting, and Elton John also guest voiced themselves on that series, but never appeared on screen in any of the films, merely singing songs for the franchise. George Harrison sang Cheer Down for Lethal Weapon 2, sang It's Probably Me, and Elton John collaborated with Eric Clapton for Runaway Train, both songs featured in Lethal Weapon 3. Roger Murtaugh wasn't written with any ethnicity in mind. Danny Glover was suggested by Marion Doherty after seeing him in The Color Purple. John Saxon was the first choice for the role of Joshua, but he was busy shooting A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. Oh, that would have been interesting because remember, he got trained by Bruce Lee. That guy could fight. Like for fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The prop Beretta 92F Mel Gibson uses in this film is the same prop gun that would be used by Bruce Willis in Die Hard. The gun has since been retired. Just like his character, Mel Gibson is a big fan of the Three Stooges. He even produced a biopic, The Three Stooges. Yeah. According to a 2016 interview with producer Joel Silver, Ridley Scott said his first Sir Ridley Scott was hit. The fuck. He said Ridley Scott was his first choice to direct the film. Due to Scott's still recent tensions with Warner Brothers during the making of Blade Runner, the studio refused to offer him the job. Silver would later work with Ridley's brother Tony Scott on The Last Boy Scout. Mel Gibson turned down The Fly and The Untouchables to do this movie. Richard Donner's first R-rated film since The Omen. His next film would be Scrooged, which was also set at Christmas time. Other actors considered to play Joshua: Willem Dafoe, James Woods, Christopher Walken, Keith Carradine, Tommy Lee Jones, and Scott Glenn. Actors considered to play McAllister: Lee Marvin, Bruce Dern, Richard Jordan, James Earl Jones, Peter Boyle, and Robert Duvall. Mitchell Ryan's character is named Peter McAllister. The father of Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, played by John Hurd, is named Peter McAllister and is named after him. Included among the American Film Institute's 1998 list of the 400 movies nominated for the top 100 greatest American movies of all time. Michael Biehn was considered for the role of Martin Riggs after Richard Donner had seen him in Terminator, but he was too busy filming Aliens at the time. Brian Dennehy was considered for the role of Roger Murtaugh. Dennehy turned it down as he had already played cops in a foreign film since his Fresh Blood in FX. However, Dennehy and Danny Glover previously appeared in Silverado. And oh, by the way, we almost saw a version of this movie that had Stephen Lang playing Riggs and Ron Perlman playing Joshua. Christopher Reeve, who had worked with Richard Donner in Superman, was also one of the first choices to play Riggs, but turned it down. This was the second role he turned down that ultimately went to Mel Gibson after The Bounty. All right. Tracy Wolff, born in 1960, would have been 26 when shooting the movie, making her several years older than Rhiannon, the teenage character she's playing, and only 4 years younger than Mel Gibson. Danny Glover and Jack Thebeau previously appeared in Escape from Alcatraz, though not on screen together as they did in this film. Rene Russo played Laura Nicole in Lethal Weapon 3, and Lethal Weapon 4 starred with Clint Eastwood in the Line of Fire. The film playing on TV in the Murtaugh's house is A Christmas Carol, directed by Brian Desmond Hurst and starring Alistair Sim in the main role.
See, Christmas movie.
All right.
Rumored there's going to be a fifth one directed by none other than Mel Gibson. And everybody's on board. Do you know, is there anything about that in the scrolls?
Not that I see.
Okay.
All right. However, there's a lot more. We would be here all night, and I know some of us have other shows to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. The scrolls are closed.
You'll try to pay attention to the chat. Oh, no worries. No worries, tired red bottle. Best Christmas gift ever. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and spend time with your families, have fun, and the big thing of this film, it deals with depression. A lot of people get depressed. This is depression. If you have an issue, call somebody, call a friend, and if you have those thoughts, call the national. There's a line I used to have the number for. But if anybody's feeling depressed, please call somebody. Reach out, get help. We're all here for each other, and you know, just enjoy your holidays, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Um, I will be doing some Christmas karaoke later. You may, if you want to choose to drop by, please do so. But I know there's other streams that you might want to get to. Uh, all in all, Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family and friends. Be nicer to each other. Be excellent to one another. Party on, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for coming and being here with us for this stream.
All right. And I would like to thank Connie and Curtis for the member chats. Thank you all for being here and watching along with us, and for bearing with me. I'm trying to get my voice back. I'm going to be sounding a little ragged for coming attractions, but I'm going to do that as tonight as well at in about 25 minutes at 7 p.m. It's going to be a short show. There's not really going to be a whole lot to get into. Um, I do want to remind everybody tomorrow that Bill has a stream over on Outlaw Bill Sports Network, and that's going to be
Thursday night football game.
yes,
The Broncos and the Chiefs.
down with the chefs.
Yeah,
Go with the Broncos.
they have both of their quarterbacks are injured with a torn ACL. It stinks, and they're playing their third. I I would like to play the Chiefs with the full strength of their starters, Mahomes. It would be much better. It's still going to be pretty loud because the fans are going to be loud regardless. It's out Arrowhead in Kansas City there, and they're always loud. But if the Chiefs somehow could figure out to get a win, that's going to blow my mind. But I'm a Bronco fan, so I'd like to see the Broncos win. But I know for those of you who don't watch football, that's fine. It's just something I've been doing for ever since '77. I've been watching and following football ever since then. Anyway,
And
have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your families and friends.
Right. And remember that in a couple of hours, Bill's going to be starting his Christmas karaoke show. I will stop by. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sing,
Okay.
but I will stop by and jump in for a little bit and say hello. And then at around 9:58 and 13 seconds, I am going to watch Die Hard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that way, when the clock strikes midnight, our Mr. Gruber will be taking his flight. So I'm going to be doing that as well. All right. We had over 120 people watching at one point.
Nice.
So thank you all very much. We really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit the like, share out the stream,
leave a comment.
And if you want to, and if your comment is "Where's the movie?" take that up with YouTube.
Yes.
So they will maybe calm down on the copyright stuff, and we will actually be able to show you some of these movies on screen. Although there were bits in here we would probably have to edit around still, but yeah, this movie definitely earns its R rating. So, all right, I do want to remind everybody, like I said, in about 20 minutes now will be coming attractions. It will be my special Christmas Eve episode. And also remind everybody that I am going to be joining Big Al Presents at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central on his channel for Films with Friends. This week's movie is The Impossible with Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, and a very young Tom Holland. So check that out. All right. So thank you to everybody who joined us here in the chat, Non Cosme. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Have a safe and wonderful holiday. From HQ, our second home office in Arizona, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Don't take heroin from crazy ex special forces guys, because it's not healthy.
Just don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, because this is how we win.